Yo, everybody. I just got back from a really awesome show. It was really loud, though, and I can't tell if I'm yelling or whispering right now. I'm having trouble modulating my volume because my ears are still ringing and throbbing, but it was an awesome show. A bunch of guys I went to high school with. We used to have a band, all of us together, and a couple of them have gotten back together and reformed them. Anyway, you don't give a shit about that. It was a great show, though. I'm doing this video response to a guy by the name of And Then There Was Ham. I'm going to call him Ham from here on out for brevity's sake. I'm sure he'll be fine with that. Ham emailed me today, was telling me that he's a musician, and that he's having kind of this back and forth discussion with, I think it was some Wiccans or some pagans, saying that because Ham is an atheist and also a musician, basically they're saying he's a hypocrite because music is inherently spiritual. That when a musician is creating music, that he's drawing upon some power that is greater than himself. That music, and in particular the creation of music by a musician, is proof that there's something bigger than us out there working through us. I find that argument to be complete bullshit and more than a little offensive. And I'll tell you why. First, let's talk about religious folk here on YouTube. And I'll lump pagans and Wiccans in the mix with religious folk. And I've talked a little bit about this before in previous videos. Religious folk here on YouTube, especially the ones that feel the need to engage atheists. I believe that every human being on the planet is born with a bullshit detector. I have a very highly developed bullshit detector, as do most of the people I talk to here on YouTube. The bullshit detector is that little voice in the back of your head that points out bullshit when you hear it. And the Christians, the Muslims, the pagans here on YouTube that feel the need to constantly engage atheists have a bullshit detector too. I don't care how indoctrinated or devout they are, they have a bullshit detector. Over the years, they've learned to stifle it. They've learned to quiet it. They've learned to cover it up with things. But it's still there. And the reason that they're threatened by atheists is because we are a tangible vocalization of that little bullshit voice in the back of their head, telling them that what they believe is incredulous, telling them that what they believe doesn't hold water. When you hold it under a fucking microscope, it falls to pieces. And while they can stifle that little voice, and I'm sure they could stifle us too, but it's a lot harder to stifle a real person. It's a lot harder to hear these arguments spoken into existence than it is to just stifle the little voice in the back of your head. So they're very, very offended by us because we represent that little voice. We're that little voice in human form. And so they really, really want to lump us in with them. They really want to point out things in atheism that they believe make atheism a spiritual thing, that make atheism a religious thing. And this music argument is no different. Taking the fact that Ham is an atheist and also a musician and trying to play on that to make him seem religious, to make them feel better about stifling their bullshit detector because they believe that Ham is having to do that too. That one day he's speaking about atheism and then the next day he's creating art, and that somehow makes him a hypocrite. And it doesn't. Now, I'm not a musician. I'm more of a fan of music than I am a participant these days. But I do love theater. I love music too. But I'll speak about theater. When I'm watching live theater, something happens to me that never happens to me at any other time. When I'm watching live theater and everything, all of the aspects of it are working in unison. All of the actors on stage are in tune with one another and in tune with their surroundings. And the set design is on point, and the lighting design is working, and the sound design, and all the people backstage are doing their jobs. There come these moments in live theater for me where everything just works all at once. Everything just comes together, and I just get chills. And this never happens to me anywhere else. It's not like a cold chill, and it's not like a nervous chill. It's like a full-body chill. And it never happens to me at any other time. And a lot of people would say, I'm sure the people making this argument to Ham would say, well, that's you having a religious experience. That's you experiencing something that's bigger than yourself, working through these people on stage, revealing itself to you. And I call bullshit on that, because that's not what I'm seeing. What I am seeing is a group of incredibly talented people using their talent in unison and to its fullest effect. and it's all coming together and it's all working, and they create by virtue of their talent, by virtue of the hard work that they've put in learning their craft. They're creating a moment for me, a moment that is so powerful and so affecting and so perfect that it gives me chills. That's what I see. And I give them every ounce of credit for it. I think to insert a God in there, or to insert some sort of higher power, or to insert some spirituality in there, diminishes the truth of it, diminishes the beauty of it. It takes credit away from the people who deserve the credit. And I feel the same way about music. When a musician is in tune, when a musician is at the height of his craft, and he's just lost in the creative process of making music. I think that to put a great puppet master in there pulling the puppet strings, really, really, I find that offensive. I find that just diminishes the really awe-inspiring truth of what's going on. It's just a really talented person taking their talent and manifesting it and giving it to me. That's the way I feel about music. That's the way I feel about theater and art in general. And I think that God dulls that. I think that God just kind of throws a wet towel over the whole fucking process. So I guess my advice to Ham would be keep engaging these people, obviously, but don't let them make you think that that's what's going on. Don't let them assign some false, arbitrary spirituality to what you do. What you do is you, if that makes sense. When you're creating music, that's you. That's not God. That's not the fucking earth spirit channeling itself through you. That's you. That's your talent. That's your talent being manifest. So, that's the way I see it. I guess that's my opinion. And I think that argument is just one in a vast assortment of arguments that religious believers will try and use in order to make atheists look like them. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And don't let it work on you. So anyway, I'm going to head to bed. It's like 2:30 in the morning. My voice is going out because I was doing a lot of woo! Yeah, a lot of that shit. You know, what people do when they're at concerts and they have a lot of other people screaming around them, so they do things that they normally would never do. Yeah! Woo! And my voice is going. So I'm going to give it a rest. Thanks for watching, and until next time.